Moving right along, mindset number 5. Winners are willing to face the negative as well as the positive. Again, the difference between somebody who's searching for that thing that they want and somebody who's made the decision ahead of time and said, all right, this is what I want, it's a whole different process. Again, as you're doing a mindset number 1 and working on finding that thing that you're good at, that thing that you love, you might have to go down many different paths in order to figure that out. But once you've made the decision, know up front there will be some negative consequences. There will be some tough times. And when I say tough, maybe I could use a better word. There will be some times where you'll get discouraged. And that's okay with that whole process of getting discouraged. That's okay too. Because the more and more you practice this, you'll see the wisdom that our Creator had when He put this whole thing together. Okay, when you go after something and it doesn't turn out the way that you want, this gives you an opportunity to pause and look at it and say, is this something I really want to do? Because what if you're doing something that you think you want to do? Remember how I talked to you early on when I first started this whole thing and introducing the 10 mindsets of a winner. I told you a little bit about me and how I thought I wanted to be a guitar player at one time. I thought I wanted to be a farmer. But then I ended up getting into the mental health industry, and that was really where I wanted to be. But it took me a little bit of time and openness, willingness to try new things before I found that thing that I loved. And so you're going to go through this process as well. But again, this gives you the time to go, is this really something I want to do? And if you don't want to do that and you make the decision that maybe it wasn't for you, it's okay. All you've done is found something that doesn't work for you. That's all. There's no failure. So, as you get here to mindset number 5, know that you're going to have some challenges along the way and that those challenges are going to help improve who you are. Let's get into some real cool stuff here with mindset number 5. Okay, with winners are willing to face the negative as well as the positive. This is something here that I call the sitcom syndrome. Okay, let me explain what that is. All of us seem to go through that, and especially in this world that we have, this fast-paced world where everybody's trying to do things so quickly. All right, well, you know what a sitcom is. A sitcom is short for situational comedy. However, most TV shows follow this same pattern. What they do, whether it's a half-hour show or a 1-hour show, they spend the first 3 to 5 minutes of the show introducing the characters that are going to be part of that episode. Then, once they introduce those to you, then a problem pops up. Somebody's mad at somebody, or somebody did something that somebody else doesn't like, or whatever. Then they spend the balance of the show fixing the problem. Whether it's done in a funny way, which is a comedy, or whether done in a serious way, which is a drama, it's all still the same thing. They go through different scenes and trying to work it out and trying to figure it out, and then at the end of the show, it all gets figured out. My favorite thing with this is those old Law and Order shows. Isn't it great how you have this case where you find 2 people walking down the street and in New York City, and they're having a good time, just got done partying. Next thing you know, there's a body on the ground there in the street, right? Well, then next frame, what is it? Police tapes out, all the police cars are there, the detectives show up, and whoa, that was quick. Wow, where did all those guys come from? Man, that was really quick, right? Then they have a little conversation. They usually make some snide comment, and then it goes to commercial, and then it goes to their title, right? Well, when it comes back from the commercial break, where are they? They're in the police chief's office. They're discussing strategy on where they need to go to figure out who this person is and decide, okay, let's go see this person. Let's go do some snooping here, there, or the other. Then they find a person that they think is them, and they bring them back to the police station, right? Well, after going back and forth with different police officers questioning the witness, what happens? Oh, that's not the right one. We got to go find somebody else. Then when they finally find somebody that they think is the person, then they get the DA involved, the district attorney. Then they have to go through their investigation. And that's back and forth and trying to figure out what it is they need to do. They're constantly talking to each other and strategizing. Then, boom, they finally get them into court, right? And then they're talking all and spilling all this stuff before a jury. And then at the end of the show, what? You have a guilty or an innocent verdict, right? Well, isn't that great that all happens within 1 hour? No. Is that real life? Absolutely not. That process can take anywhere from 1 to 7 years or longer even. It takes a long time. However, when we watch TV, we get our brains so used to having things happen so quickly that we expect that to happen in our lives. And that's just not the way the universe works. Things take time. It's been proven over and over again it takes between 3 and 5 years to put a business together that's finally getting a profit. If it happens sooner than that, great. However, how many people give up after just a month of trying something new all the time? So this is one of the biggest challenges that you need to overcome in this particular mindset, or in getting this mindset to work for you, is this sitcom syndrome. Understand that things take time. Know that ahead of time. Stop the sitcom syndrome. And I know in this day and age with TikTok, where now everything's down to 30 seconds, it's even creating more of an issue with people. They get impatient so quickly. This is the time that sometimes you need to take all of that stuff out of your life for a spell and get grounded and work on yourself. So with the sitcom syndrome, the key to that is to be persistent. You got to be persistent when those challenges come. When they're there, challenges, matter of fact, I'm gonna talk in the future on challenges and the benefits of challenges, because every one of those challenges you have, guess what? They're going to make you better. And sometimes those challenges need to be there in order for us to gain a skill that we need to get to that higher level. So just remind yourself, be persistent, keep at it. Let me ask you this. How many of you would like more problems in your life? Well, obviously that's a resounding no. People don't want any more problems in their life. But what if I said, how about if you had a challenge? Different way of looking at things, isn't it? Matter of fact, I'd like to do something here really quick. I'd like you to stop and pause here for just a second and say this out loud with me. Say, I have a problem. As you're saying it, I'd like you to notice what's going on in your body right now. Say it again. I have a problem. Normally when you say something like that, your brain starts to go, ugh, really? I have something there, and it almost feels like it's something that's never going to go away. However, now kind of clear your mind, take a deep breath, let it out, clear your mind. Now say this. Say, I have a challenge. Little different? Say it again. I have a challenge. Notice how your brain's responding to that a little bit differently. Well, guess what? It's just a word. Because as we set up the next few mindsets, you're going to understand how important words are to our mental process during all of this. Okay? So when I say the word problem, it's like, oh, there's something that's going to go away. But if I say challenge, I have a challenge, it feels like, you know what? Gets the old competitive spirit going, and it says, you know what? I can conquer this. It feels like this thing that's in front of me is conquerable. And I do this all the time when I'm in live presentations where I'll stand up and say, guess what, everybody? I don't have any problems in my life. I have zero, zip, nada. How many of you believe me? And of course, no hands go up. But then at the end, I say, you know what? I'm telling you the truth when I say that. I do not have any problems in my life. However, I have a lot of challenges. And I like to look at it that way because then I know that if I keep working at it, I'll be able to get past it. Any challenge that we have in life is like a puzzle. And many of you have put together those 500 or 1,000 piece puzzles, right? And you've spent a couple of days on them, and then you get about 70% done, and you're just having a hard time finishing it off, and it feels like you've tried every piece and every one of the empty spots, and it's just, God, what do I got to do to get this thing done? And you just feel like somebody put the wrong pieces in there, or maybe some fell out and they're missing out of the box, right? However, one of your friends or family members will come by and they'll see the puzzle sitting there on the table, and what do? They pick it up and, oh, well, this goes here, this goes here, this goes here. And how do you feel? Hey, I get it. I've been there. However, it's not that you didn't see it before. Sometimes when we're in the middle of something, like that challenge, we can just be consumed and our vision gets very narrowed. It's almost like putting blinders on. We start to only see the problem. Okay, but if we back up or allow other people to come in and see it from a different perspective, they're going to have that different view, and maybe that's what it takes to help us to finish that puzzle. Somebody coming in from a different perspective. Are you starting to see how this all ties in? Ask for the help that you need. Find the coaches that you need to get you through those ups and downs. Find somebody who's already been through the challenge that you're faced with, and take it on head on. And push through, have that persistence, and get through it until you get through it. Because on the other side of that challenge is some great things. You're going to have growth. You're going to have a higher self-worth. You're going to have confidence, and that's really what it's all about. So mindset number 5, winners are willing to face the negative as well as the positive. Don't be afraid of the process. As a matter of fact, learn to enjoy the process. And I know darn well you'll be able to get through all of those things.